I'm here.
There we go. Ayrton's mic's working.
As soon as I hit go live, Ayrton's here. Fantastic. Great timing. Should I even do music? Should I just do the intro?
Yeah.
I'm just going to do the intro. We're not going to do any music today.
No. Well,
Mute
at
boys,
least do
come on.
something. Do like the Benny Hill theme.
Oh, God, no. We'll get struck for that. We've already been taken down for nudity this week. I'm not trying to push it.
That's true.
All right. I'll put a little music on for a minute or two.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gospel of Comics. I am your trusted co-host, Ayrton.
Shut up, Ayrton. Mute yourself. We got the music on. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Happy Independence Day, motherfuckers.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get ready to talk about some comic books.
Hell yeah.
Ayrton didn't hear it before, so I had to do it again now that we're actually on the air.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
So how's everybody doing on this beautiful 4th of July? Shut up. You let me ask the question before you ask it.
Alright. I was going to say Freedom Day, but...
Danielle says, how much more I'll pay? Well, I mean, the Patreon link's in the description down below. But
And my lunch money fine.
it
Folks.
it depends.
Be able to get beer and cigars this week.
Ayrton's actually made more money this month than I have.
That's a good point. You want me to send you $1?
Speaking of which, I'm supposed to be making a contribution as well. So hold on, let me just go and
Oh,
get
nobody
my
is
What?
required to do so. Novel Bro, please express you're not paying to be on the show.
No, not naturally. But I did say in the last show that I was thinking about making a contribution anyway. So I'll state that for the record.
I mean, that's on you, brother, but we appreciate it. Anyway, I'm Brecht. How are you doing up in Canada land? You guys had your Freedom Day earlier this month, right?
Yeah, we call it a Freedom Day living in Kanakistan.
Well, I mean, they have a Canada Day in Canada. We don't have America Day. We have an Independence Day.
No.
Yeah, see, we politely asked for our independence, and we're worse for it.
Oh yeah.
During Canada Day, do they ship out shoe polish to everybody free of charge?
Man, I wish.
So I have some breaking news.
I shine my face up good. Pull an Ethan Klein.
I have some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys have heard this because this just came up on the air. Someone just sent me this in DMs. Let me get it set up on the screen here. Do you realize that we have a new entry into the presidential candidacy?
Oh God!
No.
You don't realize? Okay.
I do. I saw it.
Did you?
What are you talking about?
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna go shoot myself.
Okay, well let me just get this pulled up real quick.
Is it creepy Joe Biden's mistress or something? Like,
no. This is Kanye West announces he is running for president in 2020 U.S. election.
Oh God! What?
The rapper announced his presidential campaign on Saturday as July 4th celebrations continued across the U.S. I am running for president of the United States, he said, alongside the hashtag 2020 Vision. Although there are some states in which it is too late for West to add his name to the ballot, he will still be able to join the race as an independent in others.
I love his music, but I'm just gonna have to say, what the fuck are you doing, dude? No, you're gonna need a bigger law now. Like, if you think people make fun of you hard now, no, it's gonna get worse if you do this, dude.
No, man, this is beautiful.
Look at how much crap you got for naming your daughter North.
Kanye West has also put an independent tweet out saying,
I name my daughter North because my last name is West, and it's like a direction, and because black people need to go.
Nope. I disavow. Ayrton doesn't know what he's saying. Did you? No, I disavow. Obviously, you were saying something else and you just misspoke. Kanye West has put a tweet out saying, "We must now realize."
I got some of that shoe polish from Canada.
He wasn't meaning to accuse Kanye of being an Uncle Carl. Yeah.
Where the fuck are we?
I screwed up my own joke. I apologize.
Do you guys know what the Canadian term for an Uncle Tom is?
Oh my God. Okay, sure.
It's an Uncle Tomb.
I hate you so much. Get off the air. You're fired.
It's actually Porch Monkey, but details.
No, it isn't. Oh my God. I disavow. This isn't his channel, YouTube. He doesn't know any better. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? I disavow everyone. I apologize for my my guest and co-host. I don't.
Novel Bro's the one that's behaving in this stream.
Novel Bro's behaving. That's
I'll
a
never behaving. I'll never.
I feel like I should
One
restart the
reference
stream
about
because I should just delete this one before it gets a strike.
Yeah, go
No,
on.
Nah,
Let's just get back on
nah,
track.
it'll be fine.
shall we?
Let's just move on.
Yes.
So Vestige number 1. Fine, Brett. What did you think about it?
Jesus
fucking
fucking.
amazing book.
Finally, yes, I
Kat
agree with that.
actually did a really.
I disagree with everything else you said this entire stream, but that's a valid point. I like it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't even know who you
Yeah,
are. Who are you? Introduce yourself to the people.
I think Donald did the interior art, which I'm not. This is probably a take that a lot of people won't agree with me on, but I don't really like the Ethan Van Sciver cover. I like Doodlebag's covers more.
Really?
Way more.
What about it do you like more?
The Ethan doesn't do women well. He makes their faces too masculine. It's just not my thing.
His
Like,
ex-wife said too.
Maybe Ethan likes him
Continue.
a bit tomboyish.
I'm not into tomboyish women. I'm sorry. Like Maddie,
Yeah,
Doodlebag's version of Maddie is way more attractive.
So I really enjoy.
Yeah, give me like that 50s housewife aesthetic.
No,
like make me a sandwich.
When it comes to Vestige, I really enjoyed the story of it. The setup was really nice. The only complaint that I have, as far as the story or the art goes, is there wasn't enough of it. Like I sat down with
The book's not long enough. It's really it's too short, but it's a good read.
The thing is it's not too short for what what you get. It's just
yes,
too short for someone who enjoys it. And
yeah,
the premise,
you want more.
The premise itself, Novel Bro, I think you'll really like this, is set around a group of people who go around collecting artifacts and weapons that have the spirits of their owners put in them. Stonewall Jackson Saber was part of their collection.
Nice.
So you want the quiet background women, huh, Ayrton? So Danielle, thank you for that.
Yes.
And the main character references Annie Oakley, even though we don't see her directly, and a few other historical figures. But in the grand scale, you have a female protagonist who's a member of this agency that goes around collecting these artifact weapons. And the story seems to revolve around Jack the Ripper's dagger in London. And, there's a few callbacks.
I thought it was Dubai, but continue.
What?
I said I thought it was Dubai, but continue.
I hate you so much. Why do I keep bringing you on these shows? I can physically block you from the Discord.
No idea.
Why do you I'm not sure why you keep putting up with the level of abuse you get. You must be a masochist.
I mean, I mask my pain with sarcasm.
Okay.
So you bring it on yourself.
All right. But yeah, the following of Jack the Ripper's blade, that really kind of spoke to me. You also get a few other introductions, a Nordish golden axe. It always kind of revolves around the weapon. So the story itself right there does itself a big service, leaving itself open to several volumes in the future covering these alternate weapons, right? Once we get past Jack the Ripper's blade... Go ahead.
We even get details of Kuhulain's spear, which made me really happy. I love
Absolutely
the tale of Kuhulain.
So
damn right. See,
not,
you could dream up stuff like that for hours upon hours, and you could just imagine holding, say, the sword of Julius Caesar, which could maybe hold part of Julius Caesar's soul in it, and that there would be something quite epic to that, and to see that, like you say, in the Jack the Ripper blade, and that's quite cool.
And me as a Constantine and a Keanu Reeves fan, let's not forget you had the Lance of Longinus,
Yep.
Yeah.
And you basically can work your way up to that storyline in like volume 12 if you push hard enough. So I mean,
Oh, I
you
think
have.
Cat's going to cover all the like notable relics we have in like.
Well, I hope so. I hope so
Yeah.
because this is a really great concept. I really like when you look at the cover, and that is one critique that I think I have of it, and it's not a bad one. I mean, the cover is what it is. It's an Ethan Van Sciver, Kyle Ritter piece. It looks
Coloring's
good
beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
for what it is. I don't get a feel for what the book is from the cover, right? Like I feel like the book's going to
Not at
be
all.
an Annie Oakley Western type story, and it's not at all. Like it's definitely more of a historical fiction than a strict Western. So,
Fair enough.
um,
That's still worth looking into anyway.
yeah, I definitely think. Let me get back to the screenshot. I went off on a rant there, but there's
No, that's right.
there's a photo of the cover there. Like I said, there's definitely some appeal to it, to our evil male gaze. The color's
I was
great,
about to mention, like,
I mean,
but
everybody likes titties.
I don't
that's
get
what
a
I was about to
feel of what
mention.
the story's about from the cover, and I
Right.
think that's kind of a, I don't know. It's a critique. It's not good. It's not bad. A lot of comic books suffer from that, but it's something that I particularly don't like in a comic book. I do agree that if you
Do they
go
make
over, let me
like
pull
that?
up the campaign for Vestige number 2, because there's a reason I didn't go into too many spoilers. This book is still available if the concept interests you. Like, I think I gave away just enough, and if you can hear that, that's fireworks going off in the background. Happy 4th of July again, everybody. But,
Yeah. Sorry, there's a lot going on out here. I don't know.
I don't hear yours.
Or not, but they're loud as shit. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't hear yours. I don't know if you guys hear mine, but
Okay. Yeah, because it's registering on my board. So, I don't know.
So Vestige again is still available on Indiegogo. I'll put the link in the description down below right now, live on air while that pulls up. But Vestige number 2.
I concur with you, Einbreck. Just saying. Saw your chat.
Yes. Yes.
Oh God.
In the Discord.
Okay.
Trog posted some heavenly milkers. That's all.
Oh. Okay. Oh yeah.
He likes to post stuff like that, and I totally approve.
Definitely put that stuff in
I
kitties
love
if
him
you
for
can
that.
help it. I'm not a stickler for it. There's no nudity. It's safe for work. But anyway, Vestige number 2, the graphic novel, is available over on
Might
Indiegogo
not be
right
safe
now.
for YouTube though.
It will definitely not be. Again, if you missed the show last night, we got pulled down because I was talking about a Magic the Gathering article. And we were discussing the difference between tasteful nudity and... What?
Porn.
No.
For real? You guys actually got pulled off there?
Yeah, in the middle of the show.
Hell, man.
Yeah.
You're
They
really
got
low,
even.
Novel Bro. I gotta pull you up. Say something now.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay,
How
there
am
we
I
go.
sounding now?
You sound a lot better
there
to me.
you go.
Okay.
Okay, bud.
Alright, so anyway, let me talk about this real quick. Vestige number 2 is available. What if the relics of history can carry their own powers and the spirits of those who had wielded them? And again, in this bundle, you can get the Black Dragon Volume 1 and Volume 2 variant. You can just get the Volume 2 novel. You can get Vestige 1 and 2 Black Dragon Edition for $50. You can get the deluxe edition for $75. You can get an original art page for $300. There's some fireworks. I hear those. And the drawn in is already sold out. So definitely take a look at this. I'll put the link in the chat right now. Let me do that.
Doodlebags and Gat are worth the investment. I really like
And
the work he's done.
I'll put this right below the guest info. Vestige, Volume 2. And there's the Indiegogo link. So I'll save
Yeah,
that.
don't do it before the show.
So all in all, I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the artwork. Donald DeLay did the artwork. Gat Honzo did the writing. And Vestige Volume 2 is now available. I've already backed it. I definitely suggest you check it out. If you haven't read Volume 1, you have a chance to pick it up here with a new cover. I believe Doodlebags is doing the interiors of these books. Is Huerta doing a cover for Vestige? Is that a thing?
Huerta was supposed to be doing a cover, but I haven't heard word on that in quite some time, so I don't know if he's in the middle of making it, or if it's done, or if it's no longer a thing. I don't know.
Alright, so... But anyway, yeah, I definitely love the concept here. I'm a big fan of shows like, what is it, Warehouse 13 or whatever, where you have the historical artifacts. And
yeah, that each have their own power.
Right. Well, this is a badass take on that.
I've compared Vestige to a really shitty but cool in concept anime called Sword Guy, the animation.
Okay.
Sword Guy comes from a bit of a different take. It wasn't delivered well, but it was a cool concept. And what it was is historical weapons were imbued with the souls of these things called like Busoshin or something like that. It's some kind of ancient spirit, and if you wield the weapon, you become bounded to it, and eventually it takes over you, and you become a monster that just lives to kill, essentially. And it was a really cool take, but it was a really shitty delivery. And Vestige brought us that in a more grounded perspective.
Yeah.
And I like Vestige a lot for that.
It kind of sounds like the was it Murasara Blade or whatever in Marvel comics? Yeah.
Muramasa, I know.
Yeah, Muramasa.
Yep.
That's makes me think of.
That's the Japanese lore for the Muramasa sword. It's a cursed sword, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's like cursed by like the.
Are you talking about Sephiroth's sword?
Like that.
No, because he doesn't use the traditional Muramasa. He just uses something called Muramasa.
Oh no, I'm saying like that's the name of it. Like I've always called it the Masamune.
I mean, it wouldn't be surprised. That's been used in countless Square Enix, Squaresoft projects, so it probably was.
Yeah,
that's just another
old Japanese mythology.
So is Musashi, and he has 2 of his own games. So
first one's awesome. Second one's no longer a comedy and not nearly as fun as a result.
Let me just stop you right there. The first one's awesome until you get to the ending. The ending, and then Musashi went home. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And fuck the horse you rode in on for that. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Musashi saved the princess, collected an entire line of his own toys, defeated an evil fucking demon, and gathered the legendary sword Lumina and all of its, like, enchantments. Fuck you, he goes home. And then has to do another game later on down the line because you're out of ideas. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Yeah, the ending was stupid. I'll say that for sure.
Hey, if a cowboy rides into a town on a Saturday and leaves 5 days later on a Saturday, how did he do it?
Just one of my favorite lines from that game was, "You can't beat us, we're immoral." And Musashi's just like, I think you mean immortal?
Yeah, it definitely had a lot of teenage sarcasm in
it. Yeah, it did. It's why it appealed to me, because I played it when I was 14, 15.
Let's give our final thoughts on Vestige, though. I loved it. I was upset there wasn't more of it, which is always a good thing in my book.
Yes,
I'm
I
happy.
agree. A book that leaves you yearning for more is a good book.
I'm happy that there is a new edition of Vestige available now in the link, not only in the description but in the chat. Take the fireworks and the fact that we're reviewing this on Independence Day as a sign and back it if you haven't already.
Hell yeah.
The horse's name is
Go
Saturday.
fly
Duh.
an airplane into an alien spaceship.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a personal rating for Vestige. Novel Bro, Ayrton, do you guys want to chime in before I give that rating?
I mean, we haven't read it, so what do you want us to chime in about?
Well, from our description of it, are you interested in it? Would you consider backing the Volume 2 and looking at it and picking up Volume 1 from that campaign?
I mean, I like implements designed to hurt, maim, and or kill people. So
I'm going to
yes,
turn
I'm
you up, too.
definitely
You sound low as shit. Turn yourself up. I turned you up last night.
Really?
Yeah, you sound low as fuck.
There. How's that?
Guys, check your Streamlabs.
Oh.
Yeah, we just got a donation.
Oh, no. Is that bad?
No,
I
this
don't
is
know.
a very good
I can't see. I can just see that we got it. I can't see what it says.
Oh, I'm the only
There was
one
a
that can do
message
that.
that went with it.
Oh, no, it was a $10 donation. Get that bread, nom nom nom.
Well, thank you for the donation.
Danielle
Oh,
says
bro.
9 of 10. I am going to need 5 of that, Ayrton. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just fucking with
I
you.
know.
I'm just
Okay.
fucking with you. That's you.
You get $6. You get $6 this
No,
month.
no. You're good. I am going to have to tax your pay on that one. I am taking. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yes, I
The church
report
after
all
all.
of this income to the IRS. I am not an ethos.
That's right. But let me give my personal.
Look out for my OnlyFans. That will be.
I have a no. That can't be the last thing said before I give my personal reaction to Vestige number 1. I have to be able to give my reaction to this unsullied by your degenerate comment. So here is my entire endorsement of Vestige number 1, and the first thing that I said after I read it.
Yeah!
Ninja Sex Party. Love those guys.
Trousers constantly around my ankles.
If you read Vestige number 1, it will give you an erection. So that's yeah, that's my open endorsement of the book.
If it lasts more than 4 hours, should you go?
Oh, there's some.
No. If it lasts more than 4 hours, you should just read it again so that it'll last 8 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's some gorgeous half titty on a absolutely beautiful.
Oh no, that's not even.
Skin female.
Did you say half titty?
Yeah. You see like under boob on this absolutely beautiful dark skinned woman who's singing in the panel she's in.
But that's not even the reason it gives you an erection, though. The artwork is beautiful. The story is great. The concept, it made me happy.
How was the lettering in the panel?
Oh no! I mean, I'm not saying that's the reason for the erection. I'm saying it's just the icing on the cake.
No, the paneling was fantastic. Let me pull up the original campaign again, and we'll look at some of the artwork on the campaign.
Unlike somebody's paneling.
Yeah, that show's gone. That show's gone to history now. We're not gonna rehash that one. But there's the link there in the description if you don't have the stream pulled up. But I'm gonna go back to it on stream as well. So Vestige number 2 in the description down below. Check it out. Both books for $50 at the base cost. Great deal. You get a bonus package for $100 with both variants.
Carl.
So here we are back on the.
My favorite panel.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my favorite panel is the one where it's a series of panels, to be honest. the scene where he wins the gambling match.
Yeah.
And they
No
just decide.
spoilers now.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It
not.
just, I'm trying not to spoil it, but it just, everything that comes after.
Well, here's what we'll do. Anybody who hasn't read the book and plans to, skip ahead 5 minutes. We're going to talk about some things that are potential spoilers in the next 5 minutes. But skip ahead 5 minutes on the replay or come back in 5 minutes. But potential spoilers in the things we're about to discuss. So go ahead and finish your sentiment, Einbrecht. Gambling table.
La, 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 la,
It's just, he wins, it looks like a game of cards.
Yeah.
And then
when he cashes out, he goes home.
Yeah. He tries to go home.
Right.
They
follow
guys
him.
He was gambling with, follow him out and say, "We weren't done drinking with you."
And demand that he buys them a drink and all that shit.
Yeah. And he knocks out the first dude that goes after him. Just plows him right in the face, makes him bleed everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just like, "You cheeky little bastard," and it's on.
Right.
Look at this panel here. You see Charles' eye, and he's just like, "Oh shit!" And you can see the dude's fist raised in Charles' eye, and it's just,
yeah,
it's such a great panel.
And like Ayrton was asking earlier, you can see what we were talking about, dynamic paneling. You have a long panel where the fight is ensuing. You have, different blows. Different blows from the fight, and like
Adam
said,
just in case he's watching.
Yeah, in case you missed it last night, we were very critical of Adam Post's direction of marketing a webcomic without advertising it as a repackaging of a webcomic prior to publishing. Sure, if you do your research, and it very well could have been discussed in the campaign. I am ignorant of that. If it was, then by all means, definitely read the campaign before you back. But I just can't remember seeing any social media advertisements calling it the repackaging of a webcomic. But that's not what tonight's show is about. It's Independence Day. We're gonna have a good time.
What? Freedom Day, motherfuckers!
That's right. But yeah, you can just see some of the paneling here and the artwork below on the first campaign, and
absolutely beautiful.
The headshot panels are some of my favorite. Like, this chick always hits a headshot.
Maddie.
Of head,
just
my beer was so excited about this that it decided to come all over my hands. So if that's not a recommendation for everybody, it shouldn't be.
I disavow, and I'm going to clip that out of the replay. So, cool.
No.
But anyway, no, check out Vestige. If you can get a hold of it, get a hold of it from the secondary campaign. If you can't, if you want the Van Sciver cover, I think Gat's still selling those on the website, or Roe is, whoever is doing the fulfilling. But
last time I checked, Gat still had about 30 copies, but I haven't asked since, so I don't know if he still has any of those.
So if you want that cover, there may still be some out there. Just reach out and see if they're still available. But otherwise, you can get the new Black Dragon cover over on the Vestige #2 Indiegogo campaign.
Danielle there in the chat. I see, Ayrton. You've been shaking all your beers so you can make that joke over and over again all night, haven't you?
That's exactly right. Just jerking them.
My ejaculate is spectacular. I'm not sure what you're going for there, buddy.
Exactly. That's my rapper name.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
So, with that ado, any final thoughts? Anything before we jump into 1602, number 3, or volume 3 rather, part 3.
Volume 5? No.
Part 3.
Look,
issue 5 and 6 novel, bro.
Yeah, 5 and 6. I was thinking that. Yeah.
No,
All
no,
right. Yeah. Sorry.
it's
part two,
episode
the
number
third part of the
3.
show.
Yeah,
Right. Sorry.
Yes, part
It's a
3.
bit late.
I was
It's a
just
bit late.
trying to
Fair
figure
enough.
out what
Yeah,
you
that-
call it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, fair enough. I was actually just looking at the screen title
Episode
there to
3.
get reference.
It's
there.
not like I made all the marketing for this show and I should know what to call it initially. Like, don't fucking judge me. Just Independence Day.
No, not at all.
I'm enjoying my freedom, motherfucker.
Motherfucker!
Bald
You're
eagle.
I've been drinking since like what, 8 o'clock?
Oh God, you haven't had it in a while.
Well, he's been drinking since he found out that Kanye was running for president.
Well, no, that I was inventorying my ammunition stock and seeing which one would be most effective since I found that one
While drinking.
while drinking.
I'm
But
not.
then I found a rope and a stool. That's not the right part.
I disavow. Always
that's
call
right,
1-800-DOMINOS and PayPal me all the money in your bank account before you do anything drastic like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I always look for promo codes as well, man.
I mean, I do.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Anybody that
heading
thinks
your
I'm
way.
being serious, I
I-
would never endorse that.
I do have a present coming your way sometime next week, Church. So
Well, that's why I don't think you should send me any money because I feel like you've already given me some money that I don't want to pay for. So just keep all the donations for now. We'll work it out. But
okay.
Novel
I mean,
Bro in the
joke's on
chat,
him, it's just a
Mel
picture of my
Gibson
asshole.
voice, freedom! And then I smoke a pack of cigarettes and throw them down beside me. What's going on, Chad? Good to see you, buddy. You should rewind and listen
What's
to
up,
the Vestige review if we don't get pulled down again. Hopefully there won't be any
Right,
nudity this show. But,
I mean,
no
I
promises.
can show my tits.
I mean, maybe if we reach a donation goal.
Oh no.
$1 and I will show a nipple on screen.
I just gave you 10, man.
Get the nipple out.
You owe Novel Bro 10 nipples, Ayrton. How many nipples can you get
10
during the
nipples?
course of the show? Because you
I
can't
damn
show the
photo
same
shoot
one
this, man.
twice.
I mean, I'll
You're roboting like a motherfucker.
Yeah, don't look for sexy robots. I need humans.
fuck. Now my screen went all fucky when I did that.
That's what you
Well,
get.
that explains why that story is as weird as it is. Neil Gaiman worked on it.
Oh, no, it's not that weird. What are you talking about?
Why does Neil Gaiman think he's so cool? It just
I
seems
mean,
like
Because
the
his
John
name
from-
is Neil Gay.
No.
He's one of those
Hold
people
on,
that
hold
kinda
on.
rank-
I gotta step in here, and this is the same argument that I make about Mark Wade on any given week. Okay, just because of who he is as a person does not take away from the things that he has written that actually seem good. Kingdom Come,
That's fair.
fantastic comic
Okay.
book. Neil Gaiman, fantastic writer. Shitty opinions, fantastic writer.
True.
Oh no, I'm not saying the book is bad. I'm just saying like that's
Every writer I know.
Neil Gaiman likes to do like early era stuff, generally speaking.
Oh yeah. I could be wrong, but wasn't he part of a very popular novel franchise that was about dragons or some shit?
Dragonlance?
I don't know. I didn't
I
read
don't-
it.
I don't know. Oh, let me look.
I read The Sumerian,
No,
and that took a year and a half, for God's sake. It's so boring. Like, I read 4 other books while I was reading The Sumerian, because The Sumerian is so bad.
American Coraline, The Graveyard Book, Good Omen.
No.
Coraline?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he worked on Coraline.
Huh.
Novels, here we go. He worked on, in collaboration with Terry Pratchett,
Yes.
they worked on Discworld.
Give me one,
Yes,
guys.
that's the books I'm talking about.
Yeah, he did those in collaboration with Terry Pratchett.
But no, he is the main writer on 1602. Andy Kubert is the illustrator and the interiors. Cover artist Scott McCowan. Coloring is Richard Isanove. Todd Klein on lettering.
He did an exceptional job with the graining on the wood. I really like that.
Editors are Joe Quesada. Editor in chief is Joe Quesada because his name has to be on there twice.
Ho Quesadilla himself. Good times.
Okay, no. I've actually had quesadilla before.
They're
Quesadilla.
delicious.
Yeah, quesadillas are delicious. Joe Quesada is the worst. But, also, did you guys hear that Columbus' statue got dumped in the river?
Unfortunately, but I also heard that Trump wants to build a garden for statues of known abolitionists.
Oh, Trump,
There's be a lot of angry
Trump-
Italian Americans.
Trump's going to pull some funding from some very, very left-wing
You
establishments.
mean the Great White Hope?
Great White Hope!
Good.
But no, he's going to pull some funding from some liberal projects to rebuild these statues. It seems that was the promise. I don't know how I feel about it, but that was the promise.
That makes me laugh, and I hope he does it.
I do too. It'll be funny as shit.
Fund Planned Parenthood and rebuild a bunch of Confederates.
Yeah.
I remember growing up. What was it? I remember growing up watching the right spurg out because they spurged the hardest was the best.
Yeah.
And now in the modern era, watching the left, they spurg out harder. So
Yeah.
I like watching the left spurg out more than I like watching the right spurg out.
Well, it's like a pendulum. Heimbrecht. It's like a pendulum. Every 5 to 10 years,
It always
kind of swings.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about my testicles.
No, they're not
if
that
they're
sharp.
hanging that low at that point.
Do your balls hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Do they shine in the light when they hot? Are they cold? Can you throw them over your shoulder? Do your balls hang low? You're
I'm
welcome,
not nearly drunk
everybody.
enough for this.
I can smack a bitch's titties while she's blowing me with my testicles.
I disavow. I'll fire you for that. Anyway, 1602, Part 5, in which treacherous course is plotted, is the name of the issue. Novel Bro, you're our resident guest for these shows. You have first say. What did you think of these two issues?
Actually, I had quite a bit of fun with them because it just gets weirder and weirder as time goes by. But I'm just liking like see the design of the
Kind of like our
galley
show.
there. I like
Weirder and weirder.
Yeah, but at least we can sort of rein it in. Neil Gaiman just seems to go even further into the crazy. It takes just a lot more alcohol to do that, you know what I mean?
He doesn't have a me to bring things back on course. That's the problem. He has Joe Quesada twice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Apparently, he really likes Joe Quesada.
Joe Quesadilla.
He really likes Joe Quesada.
You know what I mean? Because it could be Neil and Joe in a tree.
No,
You know,
no, it couldn't be.
K-I-N-G, you know?
No, it couldn't. That's not something that's going to happen. I don't want to talk about that. It makes me uncomfortable.
It is already happening. You never know.
So, right at the beginning,
I'm personally of the belief that Joe and Megs can take a long walk up a short cliff together.
well, that's
Anyway,
you know,
I should peace out because I didn't.
I think they should walk down the street, not across it.
no, we don't. We hope they.
What?
We hope they
take a nice walk down the street.
No, not without their mask.
Nice day out.
I don't know. I disavow.
Suicide aspect of that.
I hate you so much.
Suicide is some Yeah, I disavow the suicide part because
Um,
that's like something that
we're
they
we're
want you
done.
to do.
We're done talking about that.
I
Nope,
I said
nope,
nothing.
nope,
I said
nope,
nothing about
nope,
Vestige. I just
nope,
said take a
no.
nap with
Shut up. Stop
Vestige.
talking.
That's
You
all.
you're done. It's over.
I should peace out though because I haven't actually read these books.
Okay, you didn't get a
You
chance to.
gentlemen have a good evening.
All right, I'm Breck. You
No,
you
no,
pick a
I
tactical retreat. I was about to ask if you could cover for me for the rest of the show, but you go ahead and dip out now. It's best for your internet career. I see what I'm in for.
I'll, I'll be good.
Will you? Now? Should I restart the stream now and delete
No.
everything before? Maybe put that on BitChute? You
God,
fucks?
no, let's just see this thing to the end.
Is there a setting on YouTube that's not not for anyone?
I don't know.
Neil is very much
Not
like George
appropriate that
Lucas.
anybody
I
would
went too
watch.
far in some places. Yeah, I did too with this show. Also, Larry, why don't you have a wrench? Let me fix that real quick. There you go, Larry. Welcome to the club. Now you're responsible.
You.
So,
Dave,
I don't know why I have a wrench or why I'm even still on the show.
because I'm an idiot and an alcoholic, I don't know. Like,
That's fair.
anyway, Volume 5 introduces us to the main characters in the very beginning again because I don't know if there was a delay between
In
this
case
release.
you forgot.
Well, in between this issue and the previous one, but just to kind of keep you right, you know, in the thick of the story, it introduces you again to Sir
Yeah.
Nicholas Fury. And let me step back and criticize this real quick. I think the fact that you basically have to introduce 14 people right at the beginning of your story is a sense that maybe you fucked up a little bit. Maybe there are too many people we're focusing on in this one story. Like maybe you kind of overstepped the bounds of saying, we can introduce a person one at a time.
I mean,
And then you had to.
especially
if you're,
Well, hold on. Then you
I
had
will
to.
say though,
Hold
if you're
on, real
like,
quick. Let me finish.
okay.
While they're introducing them, you have this huge soliloquy by Neil Gaiman breaking the fourth wall from within the comic book and the artist.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So,
you know.
I mean, it kind of adds like a little bit of a Deadpool, Harley Quinn aspect to the book, and it really fucked with the seriousness of it for me. Like, as somebody
Yeah,
reading this in a trade format, like it really broke the hold the story had on me at this point. I like
right.
the gimmick because I appreciate stuff like that from Parody Press. I'm gonna let you guys get all your thoughts in too.
Right.
I'm trying to get it all out in one go.
No, fire up.
But from Parody Press with the Don Chen, like just interjections of the creative team, I like that aspect of a book if it's set up for that. But this is not the book for it.
No,
It's not the way to do it either.
Right. Larry Bernard says it in chat right here. It goes against 1602 tone, and it absolutely does. So, Novel Bro, you're our guest. Please, you go first, and then Ayrton, and then we'll move on in the story.
Yeah, say, as you know, I'm trying to become an author, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I need to say, hold up, I'm just dropping in to explain this, explain that, explain. If I have to do that, like take people out of the immersion to do so, it would actually destroy the experience not only for the reader, but it would destroy the experience for me.
Right.
Because knowing that I'd have to do that, I'd be like, ugh, I fucked up somewhere in order to do that. And if I have to do that, I have to start from fucking scratch.
Right. And
Well,
I mean, it's like the people reading this aren't going to be your like casual like, oh, like they don't read Marvel. Like,
Hold
this
on,
looks
Ayrton.
kinda cool.
Hold on, real
The
quick.
people reading this are going to be.
You're roboting a little bit. Let me try something.
What?
Bring him back. There we go.
All right.
Yeah. Try now.
Is that better?
Say a sentence.
Not much.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled
Peter
peppers.
Piper picked a peck of.
Oh shit! We
Damn,
did it!
that's what
Ah!
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Oh, I just got you $10. Fuck you.
What?
Drop out of Discord and restart it and drop back in. You're still roboting a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that usually works like that for me, and I'd expect the same if I was the robot as well. So,
Right.
You know, if I do that robot, and please recommend the same because I can just quickly do it now.
So
Laptop.
now that you and I, Novel Bro, have talked about the intro, what did you think of the overall feel of issue number 5?
Hopefully that fixed it.
Hold on. What? Say a sentence.
I said hopefully that fixed it.
You sound a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still roboting just a smidge, but not as bad.
God damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good. Just give your take on the fourth wall break.
Yeah, on you go. We've not heard yours, so on you go.
So, to me, it seemed like he was trying to grab people that were jumping in like halfway through the series, but nobody reading this is going to be a casual like reader who's just decided to pick this up on a whim.
At number 5.
Like anybody who's reading this is going to be a Marvel fan who knows what characters what.
Well,
and
anybody who's reading this has been reading it since issue 1, or would be reading it from issue 1. Like nobody's going to jump into an 8-issue miniseries at issue 5.
Maybe issue 2.
Yeah,
but you're not going to be jumping in like halfway through.
Because for anybody unfamiliar
this looks cool. What's this about? Oh, those are the characters.
Well,
this is what's happening?
for anybody who doesn't read comic books, for anybody who doesn't read comic books, just so you know, if you pick up an issue number 2 and you like what you see, but you really want to read issue 1. Typically, issue number 1 of any series always gets a guaranteed second and third printing.
Oh, yeah.
So you can always pick up an issue 1 to complete the storyline, because typically issue 2 jump off 20% in sales. But if issue 2, and I will say this, if issue 2s sell equally or within 10% of an issue number 1, it will also be guaranteed a second and third printing, because they want collectors to be able to have entire stories in the event that a trade doesn't happen. However, nowadays a trade is pretty much guaranteed on anything that runs at least 4 issues. Sorry, continue, Ayrton. I wanted to get that out there for people who didn't know that there's kind of a way that comics work in this regard.
Right. And I mean that's the main thing. It felt misplaced. Like if you're going to do that issue 2, maybe 3 if you're an idiot and kind of ballsy. But yeah, it definitely threw me off. I didn't like it. I skipped over it. I don't even think I read that page when I was going through it. I
went back after issue number 8 and read it.
Oh, okay.
See, that's a good idea. You know, have it like like a annex sort of glossary at the end, where you put all the extra added information that you can't exactly put, in.
Well, I think because they put it where it is because it does actually appear in issue number 5 of the actual comic book.
Right.
And that's the problem. Like it's just a formatting thing. Like I don't understand why a writer as prestigious as Neil Gaiman would feel like it's appropriate to do something like that. like in a parody press
No.
situation,
And
I
if
expect
you're
it.
going to do that,
Because even like Ayrton, you and I, we reviewed Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters throughout the entire series. Like we went through
yeah,
as
that's
the whole
that's
series,
the
but the
only series that we've
series,
completed.
well, that's because it's 9 issues,
Mm.
and that's not true. We also completed um, the Lock and Key. We completed that.
Oh, that okay.
We're
No, we
going
didn't
through a
cover all
run of
the ancillary
completing.
material.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was
Well,
about to say we're going through a run of completing Alan Moore works as well. So
what is it?
Don't bring up Alan Moore. You know that's a trigger.
What is it?
yeah. Well, I forget that. I was just saying, like, we did go through a run
I'm
of
gonna have nightmares
completing through
about
Alan
Dick
Moore works.
just
But...
slapping me in the face all night, Alvaro. Thanks.
Oh, I was the one that recommended. He didn't remember. It was Ayrton's. Was it Ayrton's recommendation?
It was
It was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
because I'm an idiot. Okay,
the Neonomicon. Yeah.
I haven't
Intentional
recommended
penis
anything
yourself.
since we've done that fucking book.
Yes, he cocked slapped
I'm
himself
just
with a
saying,
fish
without
penis. It was fantastic.
except with extensive digging into what it actually is. I had to learn metal.
Fuck. Oh, dearie me. You guys are going to be the death of me one day, I swear it. Oh, dearie me. I'm even wheezing.
But
Jesus.
no, if
Oh,
we're going
Death's
to
Head
do,
and
like,
some
this,
Marvel
like,
UK
mid-story-
stuff. Hold on, Ayrton. Larry Bernard says,
Okay.
at Gospel of Comics, you should get Novel Bro to do a talk about Death's Head and some of Marvel UK stuff. As it so
That could be
happens,
cool.
I have a magazine-sized print box full of Marvel UK graphic novels.
Ooh.
All right. You got me interested. I didn't even know there was a Marvel UK anything.
Oh, do I? Well, I'll get on the horn with my guy at
Yeah,
Marvel and get some
we've
review
talked about it.
copies. Yeah, I'll get on the horn with my guy at Marvel. Me and him are really tight, and he'll get me some review copies that I can send you.
He's Church
Nice.
especially.
I'm very very grateful for your inside man, because your inside man helped me out a lot with this. So yeah, that'll be greatly appreciated. But let's
Yeah.
worry about that nearer the time if we cover it on the schedule and stuff, because I'd imagine there is
Yeah,
stuff to get through.
we'll stop covering. That was just a tease.
But can
That was a little bit of a tease. If we don't get pulled off air again,
Nice.
Yeah,
but you know,
a little short. Do you want me to show another nipple?
no,
No,
we're not going to pull your
that-
video
that-
up.
that is
So no,
red or fiber optic.
no, we're not going to pull your video up. So no.
So, okay. Well, so let me. I just want to finish what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If you're going to do like a mid-story, like kind of recap of who the big players are in this context, don't do it as a fucking fourth wall break.
No, do it as like a psychic reading
Like,
from
do it as
Xavier.
Right, or not even that. Do it as like Wata, like going like, okay, you know.
You're breaking up again.
God damn it!
I know what sort of angle you're going for there.
Yeah.
I was having a thought that maybe
Yeah.
perhaps Otto von Doom could do it, because like they're all his enemies, and he'd be standing
Right.
there walking through, categorizing each and every one of them, and all the details.
Because he would
codes
obviously
of and all
have
that,
Yeah.
and he would obviously have like spies in the kingdom, so he would know that Nick Fury had a Peter Parker sidekick. I mean, we're spending a lot of time on this, but issue number 5 goes pretty quickly. Let's kind of break away from this, and we'll come back to it if it's important enough at the end. But the beginning of the
Yeah.
story.
No, that's all I was gonna say.
Okay.
That's all I was gonna say. Just do it. It's fine to do it. Just do it better.
Right.
With a different context.
Exactly.
So
let's get on with this, shall we? Let's
Yeah.
get to the next Fury stuff.
Get on with it.
So the first part of the book, it has oh god. All right. So the first part of the book, it has Xavier basically submitting to Nick Fury under the request of Peter Parker. What was that?
I think I was just Ayrton trying to.
That was my fucking Discord cutting out when I was going to pull the comic up.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, it seems like you might need to update it
Yeah.
if it's needing any updates. That is. Check
Yeah.
on that stuff. 'Cause that could work. But you do sound better in this one, so don't touch anything. Don't touch
Okay,
anything.
yeah, I'm not gonna do shit. I'm gonna scooch away from the computer a little bit. Talk right in the microphone.
Can you put
Alright.
the
Not gonna touch shit.
computer closer to the router?
I'm on a wireless.
Yeah, he's literally
Yeah.
calling in through a tin can with a fishing line.
Yeah, it probably helped to get closer to that, that wireless router thing, because the closer to the closer to the signal that so there's not nothing.
Yeah, don't get me started on my wireless router. Anyways, let's just continue.
So I'm on wireless as well. To be fair.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
He's on a 5G connection, not a wireless connection.
I don't even think I'm on 5G. I think I'm on LTE.
Oh God. Oh God. Put Discord on your phone, you fuck. It'll be a better connection.
I think Church might be on to something there.
My
You might
phone's
be
LTE
better off
as
with
well.
4G or something. Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
well,
don't
get
have
in the
5G
time
down
machine
there.
and come back to the 2000s.
Poor guy, man.
The gig is up. Ayrton is a trans-dimensional time traveler.
I like transmitting from 1743. It adds an air of ambiance.
I hate you so much. Anyway, it opens up again with Nick Fury doing a raid on Javier's school for changing youngsters, and Quicksilver basically reminding King James of his promise to turn all of the witch breed, aka the mutants, over to the Inquisition. And King James basically just pisses on Quicksilver's shoes here, right?
Right.
And honestly,
I mean,
Novel
I
Bro,
will have to say,
considering how much you laud this man, I can only assume that is actually how he would respond.
Here's the thing, lad. We were talking about this last time, and it got quite spicy, and it was going to eventually happen. I thought we were going to reach issue 5 last time. That's how I was talking about the. You know what? I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. But yes, this is all right. Okay, King James, the great King James, was such a Chad that he would fuck anything he wanted, even if it happened to have slightly masculine qualities.
Right, like a cop.
That happened to include. Yeah, like a.
He was very Greek in that nature.
Right.
Quite Roman as well.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Antinous. I'm saying Hadrian, Hadrian's little trap. He was fucking sainted. He was fucking deified after he died. So hey, talk about respect for the gays, man. Give some fucking love for the Romans, man. They fucking made them in statues if they fucking died.
Well,
to be fair to King James, the Welsh do have some fairly attractive sheep.
Let's hope we don't find any Aberdonian qualities in King James. Jesus Christ, that's not even from the borders.
Well, after Quicksilver delivers his little appeal to King James, he returns, and then Magneto sends him to the Vatican, in which he encounters Toad, which I can only imagine is exactly what the Vatican was looking for in this particular time frame, considering all the child molestation.
Yeah, he's got that really long tongue.
Only a Presbyterian could laugh at it like that, but there you go.
Or an atheist, I suppose. I mean, but I have always said if I was to become a religious church, I would become a cathedral. So, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
because
yeah,
at least
you know,
devout Catholics are sorry. Like, I've seen enough Baptists. They're
But not
just in
only
it for
that, man.
the attendance,
Shoulder
right?
pads, man.
Huh?
Yeah, not only that, you get to add domes to your shoulder pads, man. To your
No,
pauldrons, add domes to them.
no, you don't understand. Like, here's the thing: as a
he
Catholic,
makes a good point.
you're at least sorry for what you atone for as a Catholic because you have to, actually like
Oh yeah,
do
keep
penance.
and all of that.
But if you're a Baptist or a
Did-
Presbyterian, you just really have an attendance record.
Now, did
Pretty
I ever
much.
tell you guys about me getting kicked out of the confessional?
I
Wait,
mean,
what? How
did
the
you tell
fuck
them
did
about
you
all the
manage
hookers you
that?
raped?
No. So I went in and said, I'm sorry, Father, for I have sinned, but I'm just here to develop some film. And he wasn't
You're breaking
happy with
up.
that,
Like the joke's
so-
not going over.
God damn it!
You roboted that just the wrong time there.
Yeah.
Of course I did. Never mind.
Hold
Skip
on. Hello. Can you hear me?
it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's worse.
Oh,
All right, disconnect and come back in. Yeah,
I've done nothing.
I know.
Might have to restart your machine as well, or try it from your phone.
Jesus fuck.
It's
Okay.
pretty
You
bad.
can
Hold
hold
on.
that. It's quite bad. But, hey,
So,
we can figure this one.
well, we talked about Toad, and Ayrton will be back,
Mm.
but the next part, Victor Von Doom discovering the Golden Sphere, which we talked about the Knights of the Golden Circle from the Confederacy in a previous episode regarding this. But
Yes.
the Templars and the Golden Sphere delivered to Victor Von Doom. And you and I know what happens with that Golden Sphere.
Yep. And see, I was about to mention and see how they talk about the location of Latveria. He is literally in fucking Habsburg territory.
I've
Latveria over
actually
the Austrian
always
Alps.
I've always considered it being like Romania.
Okay. Is
Well,
that any better?
that would have been
You're actually
Habsburg
pretty good
control,
right now,
but-
Ayrton.
Okay, I'm gonna say my joke again just because I think it's funny.
Okay.
So I went into confession.
Nope. Stop. It's shit again.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Let me see.
gonna
Let me
get
see if it's
stabbed
my
in the-
connection. Let me see if it's my connection. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's just me now. I'm gonna join the chat again. Let's see if this works.
It's the same for me, like.
Okay,
Everything's
Ayrton?
exactly like it normally is.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
what's
Try your
up?
joke now.
I went into confession and said, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, but I'm just here to develop some film."
Develop some what?
I wasn't happy about that. Film.
Oh, develop some film. Okay, in the dark room. I got it.
Yeah.
That's not a good joke though.
Yeah.
Like
Alright.
I'm really sad we spent that much time trying to get that joke
Yes,
over.
but I wanted to say it on principle because fuck this.
It's really sad. It's really sad when you spend so much time, like when you're walking side by side with somebody.
The principle of the matter, it was a horrible joke.
When you're walking side by side with somebody and you look over to them and you say something and they keep saying "huh" until the point where you're looking at them and screaming, "That tree is far away."
I'm fucking pissed. Literally, my connection is the same as it always is when I'm fine. I haven't messed with any fucking settings on anything. Fucking pissed. Anyways, let's continue.
Well, apparently in Detroit, nobody wants to go out after dark because, they're all staying in watching 4K Netflix, which is fucking up our bandwidth.
Nobody goes out at dark in Detroit anyway.
Yes, I understand that, which is why you always have a shitty connection. My point stands, you fuck. Hey, look, let's try this. Let's try.
Alright.
Go into your Discord app. Hold on.
Continue. No.
No. Go into your Discord app.
Just fucking go. I'm pissed off.
No, I know you're pissed off. That's why we're gonna do tech support live on air. This is my favorite bit. Walking pissed off Ayrton through tech support. So go into your Discord app.
Alright. Yeah.
All right. Click on the little 3 bars up in the top left hand corner. And then that should bring up your profile down at the bottom left, or in the bottom left corner, right? Click on the cog wheel.
Yeah.
And it brings up voice, right?
Right.
And it should be set to voice activity. It says
what the fuck?
It says input mode, right?
Okay, is that better? Hold on. Is that better?
Yeah.
Right, wait.
I swear to. It turned the fucking auto sensitivity back on. I think when Discord updated. You fucking cunts! Why would you change that back? You goddamn pieces of shit! I'm sitting here, everything's the fucking same, and after you update your fucking app,
I understand that, Rage. I honestly understand that, Rage.
That's my whole brand, Novel Bro.
I don't sound like fucking ass. Pieces of shit.
He's still bitching.
Shooting up heroin when you write the fucking code for this app? God damn it. Jesus fuck. I don't even know where we are in the fucking book. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna go jump out of the window at this point.
Oh God!
Fuck.
Oh God!
Do you guys think bleach is a good mixer for Guinness?
I think it is. I think it is. How did it feel to have a church rage?
I don't. Seriously, I don't even remember this fucking app updated. We were on a private call 2 days ago, and I sounded fine. I didn't change a fucking thing. Jesus fuck.
Fucking hell.
I haven't laughed like that all year, Ayrton. Hearing my words come out of your mouth was fantastic.
No. We laughed like that at the drunk.
Yeah, I'm sure it fucking was.
That. Oh, fuck me, man.
I laughed like that when.
Continue wherever the fuck you
The
guys
drunk
were.
stream.
Oh no, that never happened. That's a myth.
Oh, everything about that fucking night was a fucking mess.
That's correct. Yes.
Say my fucking name, Novel, bro.
Heisenberg.
I'm sitting here, fucking looking at all my settings and everything. Everything should be good, and it just fucking sucks.
Well, I literally had to tech support you live on air. So,
as long as you guys got your fucking chuckles.
This whole thing is just
look, you're the only one that's made money off your pain tonight, so shut the fuck up.
That's a fair point. I'm gonna go sit in the corner now and think about what I just did.
To be fair, I'm almost tempted to.
Oh no, you need to clip that out and put it on your channel, Novel Bro. You'll get monetized before we will. Just clip out you and I laughing. Yeah, let's just clip out you and I laughing over Ayrton's pain.
Anyway, I might as well just call myself biscuit clips by now, eh? Because it's already T clips. I might as well biscuit clip.
Yeah, well, Ethan Ralph doesn't hate you, so.
Anyway,
we were. Ayrton,
5 minutes, that might be a different story.
Ayrton, we were on page 9, brother. We were talking about Quicksilver running from King James back to Magneto, back to the Vatican, and then back to Magneto. And how Toad was the perfect poster boy for the Catholic Church. But we're moving on from that now, and we're on page 10.
He can get up in there.
Right. We're back to page 10, where
work that rim.
Von Doom is taunting the Templar transport, and he's examining the Golden Sphere. So Doom kind of examines it for a while, and then he's like, I'm going to nail Black Widow. And then...
Yeah, page 11.
Yeah, page 11, where you have, like, Doom's naked ass in a panel.
Which, can I sue for copyright?
That's the same as your naked ass?
Yeah.
That's how you
Pretty
look?
damn close.
Okay. No, you can't.
I do have a mole on one cheek, though, so, you know.
But you also switch to a page where you have Daredevil and the Templar in a cell together, and Doctor Strange shows up as a spirit apparition to the Templar. And Daredevil's like, what the fuck is going on? You were moaning and talking in your dreams, and your heart was pounding really quickly. I can hear it because I'm Daredevil, and all my senses are enhanced. So, you know.
Surely it wasn't just the heart rate he would have been hearing. He probably would have been hearing some other shit as well.
You kind of cut back to Virginia Dare, and she sends Stephen Strange out on his way to free Murdoch and the Templar. And then you get kind of a little bit of a backstory of the Fantastic Four. Let me pull that up on stream.
Of the Fantastic.
Yes.
Don't get it wrong.
Well, fuck you. They're the Fantastic Four. Don't bullshit me.
Hey, I deserve my right to be a sarcastic asshole for the rest of the show.
You do that anyway, regardless of what I say. So what's your point?
And aren't we all sarcastic bastards?
That's
I
true.
most certainly am not.
I only get the super chats or the Streamlabs because I'm sarcastic.
No, you only get those because I feel bad. No, you get those because I feel bad because I always use the Patreon money on stuff for the show and never send you any of it. So I'm like, I won't make any money off the donations, and I'll send that directly to you.
You've sent... No, you know, to be fair to yourself, you've sent me money. You know, when
that was my money. That wasn't show money. I've always used show money on stuff for the show.
I mean, that's fair.
I just sent you half the amount of the show money when I could afford to.
we get like $7 aggregately a month between the two of us.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
I mean, that's better than a lot of people, though. Let's be fair. We're not doing mukbangs for those $7. We still have our goddamn dignity.
I mean, I did make a fucking fantastic steak with a lobster tail and some sauteed mushrooms for lunch.
Yes, but we didn't have to post it on the fucking internet for content.
I mean, I can.
I'm saying we have our dignity and we're not doing mukbangs. You don't get to start doing mukbangs after I make that statement.
Okay, alright, fine.
But anyway, you get the story of the not the Challengers of the Fantastic. That was an amalgam. That was an amalgam thing. The Challengers of the Fantastic were the Challengers of the Unknown and the Fantastic Four.
Right.
This is the Four of the Fantastic, which was a boat that got caught up in some cosmic rays because Steve Rogers came through a portal that he shouldn't have come through. But that's a secret reveal for the next episode, so don't listen to that.
Spoilers.
Anyway, you get through the story of the Fantastic Four, and then you cut back over to the X-Men, and you see that there's a genuine animosity between the Cyclops and the Angel of this group, and the Beast pulls them apart and tells them to deal with it. And then you have another introduction by Doctor Strange and Nick Fury. And they have a conversation where they, make some deals, do some backroom dealing. Xavier reads his mind and tells him he's wrong. Stephen Strange, that is. They come to an agreement. They talk about Reed Richards. And they basically get on a boat with these kids trying to get away from everyone and turn it into an airship. And that's the end of the story. Like they turn a boat into an airship.
Well, how do they turn it into an airship? Because that was actually kind of cool. I like that bit.
Well, why don't you talk about that?
All right, fine. Well, so Xavier and Jean are
John
sitting there on the John are sitting there on the deck, and he has Cyclops just unleashes all of the power behind his optic beams into the water, propelling them into the air, and then Xavier is channeling his power into Master Gray, as we're still led to believe for some fucking reason, to use her Z's psychic abilities to hold the ship in the air after they're airborne.
Right.
And I thought that was a really cool use of their powers. It felt very, old school X-Men, like using each other's powers off of each other to attain the goal that they need. I like that a lot.
I definitely agree. That was definitely a page up for them.
Yeah. And then issue 6.
Well, before we get to issue 6,
is where it gets fun, folks.
Novel Bro.
Well, fine.
Fuck you. Any thoughts on the happenings of issue 5? Anything you want to touch on?
I just feel like it's all a precursor to the events episode 6,
Really? Like it's all just set up like in storytelling, it could have been some of the shit that was left on the cutting room floor to turn it into a 6-issue series.
Well, to be fair, like what they do after Doom, is pretty much we could just added filler, really, apart from the overhanging end of the world shit. But they've taken out the fucking main villain, dude. But that's me giving spoilers again. Fucking anyway.
Well, what about the inclusion of the Vatican in this issue?
Now, the way it's all built, I think it's because I'm trying to remember which century it had all been, perfectly built with all the basilicas completed and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure it would have all been done by then. And I think it's a nice little visit into, how big and how grand the halls are, because everything, pretty much everything there would have been made of marble, and pretty much still is as soon as you step indoors anywhere, like the other rare rocks that they would have had perfectly set into, the tone, and they would have painted frescoes over whatever was there. But yeah, I like the fact how, but there is a couple of things that are missing in the Vatican at the moment. Like, at this point, the Order of the Rosy Cross were very much prominent within the Vatican, within the College of Cards.
Oh, that's right.
And also,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and not only that, there was the Jesuit influence, which is more Spanish, which is why I was always a bit sad not to see that in the Inquisition, because it was heavy Jesuit influence driving that. Because it was the Jesuits that were taking all the big risks.
Yeah, those Jesuit fucks.
Yeah, exactly. Put it this way: however, if it wasn't for Jesuits, there would be no story of Yasuke. The fucking, the Black Samurai.
Right, but still, I mean,
I understand what
the
you mean.
Jesuits are essentially the Illuminati of the Catholic
Yeah,
Church.
exactly. There's not really much redeeming qualities to them. However, if
No.
you look at how far they've traveled to do it, you can almost see it like it's almost building up like a tally of achievements at a certain point because nobody stopped them.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
Heavy.
what are you going to do when the name of your order is literally the Order of Jesus? I think that's what it translates to. Like, what are you going to do?
Like that? Well, like you know how you hear like Sassined or it's like something with an extra two-word emphasis to describe the singular noun. Like a
Right.
Jesuit, like it's like basically say like of the order of Jesus, like of the tribe of Jesus or of the clan, or it always tying someone to
Right.
something, So obviously them considering themselves above most of the laws written by say Christ Vicar on earth, they didn't have to answer very much to the Vatican if the Inquisition was saying like, no, we need dudes like this. These dudes are headed up everything, keeping us fucking in the game, keeping us killing the witches.
Yeah.
so that, like Ayrton and Novel Bro both alluded to, basically leads us right into issue number 6. And because of my love of gargoyles and their differences and the way that castles work and the wear and tear on castles, this is one of my favorite covers. Because you have
Absolutely.
like 5 different gargoyles, one of which has been decapitated because of wear and tear and or attack on the castle. The castle's on fire and covered in ice. You can see that the battle flags are battle worn. There are, just all kinds
A
of.
lot to
Go ahead.
there's a lot to unpack with that. Like with that opening cover of the issue, because there's a lot of lore that goes in with gargoyles. But
Oh my fucking god! Goddamn Discord! Will you not let me do anything besides sit in your fucking app? Jesus Christ!
Honestly,
I just wanted to pull the fucking book so I can flip through where we're at. Jesus fuck!
I'm just looking
Discord,
through the whole thing through my tablet, really. So I'm just looking through it through the fucking
Discord. Go take a hard, long look in the mirror and think about what you fucking done.
But they're gay. Sorry, nothing against gay folk, but
I just want to point out that I'm not the one having the most tech issues tonight, and I just want to take a victory lap.
No,
I've been masturbating ever since Ayrton started yelling. Like my hand's been firmly around my cock the whole time.
Are you kidding me? My ribs are still fucking killing me, man.
Jesus fuck!
Oh my god!
Is there another fucking app we can use? Seriously, I just send you carrier pigeons to everything I fucking say.
Message pigeon went extinct in 1942.
I don't give a fuck. I'll go find some fucking crazy pigeon lady in Times Square, like fucking Home Alone. I'll give her a bird.
Anyway, issue number 6.
So she can she'll give me control over her goddamn pigeons.
I understand, but we need to find some sort of conclusion here.
Issue number 6 is one of my favorites. A lot of reveals in issue number 6.
It's one of my favorites. I don't know. I can't fucking look at it right now.
Well, go look at it and come back to us. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be here. But honestly, like, I've got enough to go on with what I've seen of it, because I'm up ahead. I'm up to fucking part 7, but from what I've seen from like the front issue, it tells me a lot about what warfare was like, because I was watching a little something on this earlier about how the methods of warfare had changed from field battles to siege battles, like as the main focal, method of warfare. And it started at 1450, right the way up to the very start of the 1700s, because that's when lane combat began to become a bigger focus, because the more and more bodies were being thrown into it, and there were larger, like frontiers being covered, longer stretches, from north to south or west to east. The theaters of war got larger, and then they got even larger with Napoleonic combat. But it all started with the focus change from field combat to siege combat, like right the way through the 1600s, right back to lane combat again. But siege combat became such a big thing that like I'm trying to remember, um, the Hussite wars. They were mostly built around siege warfare and how people could overcome it with artillery and things like that. And seeing that, with the walls and the gargoyles with their heads off and stuff like that, I wouldn't say it's wear and tear with all the fire and stuff like that. Wouldn't surprise me if that was canon. I'm just trying to remember which the 1602 equivalent was, if it was the basilisk or I know we'd moved beyond the bombards by then, but it's quite refreshing to see that 1602, because that right there, that cover probably represents 1602 best out of all the covers that have come before it.
Okay. So, just jumping into this story, this is actually the first like swerve in the 1602 storylines. I think. I mean, the artist self-insert. The artist self-insert in the last issue. That was a distraction. Because anybody following the storyline, like the insert of them, however, the fact that this story is canonized by the existence of a watcher, right? And not just any watcher. Go ahead.
I was saying about finding that quite intriguing. How obviously they're dealing with methods of like talking about the universe, and obviously the Grigori are obviously the oldest of those who would watch over our world and stuff like that. And it's funny because there was lots of theories about certain angels having access to the moon, and it alludes to watchers and everything. But I find it quite cool how they're benevolent in this though, and how they seem to have a lot of access to a lot of the knowledge that Stephen Strange still can't comprehend.
Well, the Watchers are a species designed to observe. They are the chroniclers. Like, it's kind of what I did when I first came on the scene with everything. Like, there's a section of Bloodsport's history that I can just recite verbatim. There's a section of Comicsgate history that I can recite verbatim.
Yeah.
There's a piece of Gamergate that I can just kind of recite verbatim. And that was what I did. Like, I observed. And the reason that I do the comic show is not to interfere or make a stand on any of that. Obviously, I have my opinion.
It's because I drunkenly tweeted you at like 1 a.m.
Well, because I wanted somebody to talk about comic books with, and you're an idiot. Am I wrong?
I was not the right fit. I was not the right fit. I couldn't talk about comics all the time, especially with what I've got going on. But yeah, I'd say Ayrton, you're probably better suited to this than I am.
Well, Ayrton did read comics before he knew about who I was. Like, I'm introducing you to comics whole cloth. So
I would be coming in as a student, as a layman, and that wouldn't work well as a co-host, because you'd have to be running through the lore with me. But with Ayrton on hand,
no, I have to run through the lore with him. I'm the expert here. He's the layman as well.
I was more of a casual reader before this show, Novel Hero.
Fair enough. That's a step up.
Like the term of dynamic. Like, let's be honest here, okay? Flip to.
Yeah, I never noticed lettering or paneling before this goddamn show. I can't just sit down and read a comic. I have to sit there and look at, man, that lettering sucks. They should have done it this way. In this word bubble.
In the reader copy that I supplied to everyone, the review copy so kindly sent to us by Marvel. Look at page 5.
I can't. But
no, you can.
I'll pretend to.
Okay, well, it's a
big. No, I can't.
It's a big, long 3-panel page. I'll pull it up on stream.
Okay.
How about I do that? Should I do that? I should do that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at how big that Watcher's head is.
Okay.
1.5.
Alright, so here it is on stream. It's 3 tall panels. It's the first page on stream here. What are we doing? What's going on? What? Oh no. There we go. Alright. So,
What's going on? I don't uncertainty.
no, you're good. So, it's the big 3 long panels, and the background and the setting stays exactly the same. It's focused on a crater with a pillar and a section of the earth all caught in the background. And then you see the Watcher and Stephen Strange traversing the terrain in the foreground, and they're the only thing that change over the course of these panels. This is what I talk about when I'm talking about dynamic paneling. This is paneling that
Right.
uses its surroundings. Like, you don't just see these people moving. You see the background in its entirety, and you see the course of their movement through dynamic paneling. It's fucking beautiful.
Right.
It is art, and I know what it is.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and you get a sense of like the time of travel that it
Right.
took them to walk from one side of the crater to the other. You get a sense of time by the way the paneling is designed,
Right.
and that's what we need. Like the paneling helps tell the fucking story.
Oh, sorry.
Go
We
ahead.
don't
See,
need.
at that point, this Watcher is probably even taller than fucking Rojas.
Oh,
Like, probably a
absolutely.
good fucking head and shoulders taller than Rojas.
No, the
Stephen
Watcher.
Strange-
The Watcher is about a
fella.
body taller than Rohaj. Rohaj is about a head taller than Stephen Strange.
Yeah, thereabouts, because Stephen Strange isn't a small fella by any means.
But the Watcher is about a body taller, like a body minus head taller than Rohaj. You're probably talking about somebody who's 9 feet tall.
Yeah, thereabouts,
Yeah.
9 or 10, if you're considering the noggin.
So, but anyway, this is where the Watcher explains to Stephen Strange that some shit's going on that shouldn't be going on, and you're literally the only person I can communicate this info to, because our culture is designed not to interfere. And he's like, but you're interfering. And he's like, yes. And me and my culture discussed this, and we were like, hey, you can't talk about it while you're alive. So, spoiler alert, skip the next minute of the video if you don't want to be spoiled. That's enough time, right? So-
Sure.
Go.
Okay, so the Watcher tells Stephen Strange because Stephen Strange doesn't have to be alive to communicate information to other people that are alive. So, spoiler alert, in the next 2 issues, Stephen Strange is going to sacrifice himself in order to save his universe.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun 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 dun!
As if we didn't see that coming.
But the introduction of the Watcher of this is something that I particularly love. I love the Watcher as a character. Anyway, another just like nod you have in this is kind of a beef between Angel and Scott Summers. It's broken up by Nick Fury, while the flying ship is still flying because Jean Grey and Javier are still levitating the ship. You cut back over
I wonder
to
John Gray.
Writing staff had the Peter Pan fantasy.
I mean, Neil Gaiman, obviously, he wants to get some Peter Pan up in it. But you cut back over to
He
Latveria.
wants to Peter his pan.
God damn it. I hate you so much. You cut back over to Latveria, where the Thing is, making his weekly disturbance that deprives his teammates of food, and is punching up against the walls of his entrapment. And this basically just goes on to loosen the chains of Matt Murdock and the Templar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just plot device city.
Yeah, but I do like
Basically.
what I do like who the Templar becomes. Like, let's
Oh,
pretty cool
we'll
line
get to
catch.
that's definitely not something we're
Yeah,
gonna skip over.
Yeah, and there's some cool
that's like
true
the
character
highlight of
history
this
that I
issue.
can give you there as well. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So, one of the big plots in this issue is the fact that the X-Men are not just flying off into the nothingness. They're on the, on course to attack Doctor Doom's encampment in Latveria. So,
Yeah, take out the big boss early on, you know.
so that's exactly what they do. They encroach in Latvian airspace and they launch an attack, in which they are met with multiple vultures and other, just different enemies. Angel and Scott have to work together to take some of them out. Uh,
They don't like each other very much, do they?
the four of the Fantastic continue to disrupt the encampment long enough for Matt Murdock and the Templar to get free, and somehow Susan Storm, the Invisible Girl, also gets free. And let's talk about what she does first, gentlemen. Like, how do you
Yeah.
feel about the first
So-
thing that Susan Storm does once she escapes entrapment, which I'm going to pull up on screen right now? She goes and fucks up Black Widow and calls her a whore, basically.
I mean, it's fitting.
I mean, isn't it pretty beautiful?
You know, she.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
first I
she's
actually
been.
thought it was somebody really fucking up until I took a really longer look and realized, oh wait, this is fucking Susan Storm. Fucking, she's actually fucking. Oh, fair enough. Aw, it's like very 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 catty bitchy thing to do. You know, I realized, oh wait a minute. There's nobody there with Thor. There is no Autobahn Doom catching her doing this or that. It's an invisible chick. Oh fuck.
Right, and it's kind of fitting if you once you start thinking about the context of, Von Doom's probably had countless women, in there,
And he
Black
probably
Widow
tried
is
to
probably just
he probably tried to have his way with Susan Storm too. Let's be honest. Like, that's actually a major talking point in what is it? Secret Wars 2015.
Fantastic Four in general.
No, Secret Wars 2015.
Oh.
Let's just
Right,
break this
right.
down. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert if you haven't read that. But Secret Wars 2015.
Put your bingo card on a Secret Wars reference.
Don't make me fucking DX chop you, okay? Secret Wars 2015. Doom basically saved the multiverse in the form of, melding the remaining bits of planets and multiverses together in a battle world of sorts. And in doing so, he rewrote his history to become the husband of Susan Storm, the father of Valeria and Franklin Richards. So basically, he put himself in the placeholder spot of Reed Richards and erased Reed Richards from history. So the existence of a Reed Richards on his battle world was kind of a glitch in the matrix, so to speak, and that was the catalyst of the destruction of Battle World and the reformation of the multiverse of Marvel Comics. So, pretty deep storyline if you think so. And spoiler alert, double spoilers. There were two Reed Richards reintroduced into the landscape when Doom's plan went into action. You had Ultimate Reed Richards and 616 Reed. So a good and evil Reed Richards survived Doom's shenanigans. if you will.
Well, I mean, he is the smartest person in the Marvel universe, right?
Technically,
Depends.
I think that's Hank Pym, if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty. The thing that makes Reed Richards special is because he can expand his brain and increase his mind function. I think.
Right.
Sometimes. But if that were truly the case, then
Well, I mean,
Henry Pym.
Other characters refer to Reed as the most, as like the smartest person in the world.
Well, technically, Henry Pym is the smartest person because if the expanding your brain matter to increase your intelligence is actually a thing, then he can increase his size up to like 100 times or some shit. And
that's fair.
Or condense his brain matter 100 times into becoming an ant, which makes him not only 100 times stronger than a being that size should be, but it should also make him 100 times smarter. So he should be able to shrink down to ant size and cure cancer.
Yeah, but who wants to cure cancer? Clearly
Henry Pym should.
St. Jude's.
Absolutely. No cancer in that universe.
But anyway, this is also the point of the book where we're revealed. And honestly, let me just stop real quick and say, Novel Bro, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was going to happen. But really, there's nothing we can kind of point to in these two issues and ask about historical relevance on.
Actually, there is a little segment.
Oh, are you about to comic guy me?
Yeah, well, not comic guy you, but
no, it's the Simpsons comic guy. Well, actually,
well, I think it was page 19. Like, the Templar guy starts like spitting.
Oh, I'll shoot over to page 19 if you so request. Where are we at?
Please, Novel Bro, as being a follower of the Knights Templar, I assume.
Well, let's see.
Give us the secrets of your order.
Well, no, let's just say they weren't like.
Okay, well, this is before the big reveal, but we'll talk about everything up to the big reveal at this point. Matt Murdock has freed his Templar follower friend from the Tower of Doom. The Fantastic Four is on their way to being completely freed, as Susan Storm and Johnny Storm have implicated to both freeing one another by the by the vindication of Ben Grimm. Let's see what else. Nick Fury and the X-Men are on the attack of Von Doom, and Stephen Strange has had a spiritual rendezvous with the X-Men, as well as a Watcher and Nick Fury at this point, right?
I think so, yeah. I believe he has communicated with them by this point.
Okay. So that's where we're at. Now go ahead and pick up from there, Novel Bro.
Yeah. Okay. See, on the page on the left, which is 19 on the overall thing, second panel, the second load of panels, the one on the left, this talks about treasure being brought to Jerusalem by Norsemen. Now, back then, 800 years before it, that would take you to about 800 odd BC. That was roughly about the time of around the formation of the Varangian Guard. And this was just roughly at the time when...
Hold on. Novel Bro, keep it in your pants while you're talking about the Varangian Guard.
No, I know. But this is back at the time when Islam was making it. Hey, hold on. I'm pretty sure I can make the noise. Hold on. Wait. I see you've done it with a cheek. What's this? We are such children. We are such children. I love it. I love it. I don't know exactly what. Yeah, it's talking about Norsemen bringing a treasure to Jerusalem, and by this point, that could have easily been a Byzantine peace offering to try and hold off the second Muslim expansion by then, because the first Muslim expansion was like the early 700s,
Well,
and then
wouldn't it have been the Normans at that point?
No, the Normans came around the mid to late 11th century, because at that point they had to still, become from, Norsemen, Rollo's Norsemen into, the county of Normandy and stuff like that. So we're talking a couple of hundred years before it.
The Normans, though, did have a stronghold in Jerusalem and Antioch and Constantinople and stuff.
Yeah, that happened in the year roughly 1089 to 1091. That was the first crusade.
Oh, okay.
And the Normans you're thinking of were actually the Normans who founded the Principality of Antioch, and that was, if I can recall correctly, Bohemond of Taranto and his wee nephew Tancred. And Tancred was actually the better man of them both. But although they still both ended up in Byzantine custody quite a lot, but they were constantly at war with the dudes. But they were quite legends because they still managed to find ways to either talk their way out of their cells or fucking escape. It was quite uncanny at the time. These were completely different breeds of people then. Cells had completely lack of meaning. If you were in a cell, you were like these bars cannot fucking hold me, mate.
So, just with the spoiler alert, the X-Men are definitely aided, as well as the Daredevil and the Fantastic Four, with the help of someone from Norse mythology, if you will.
Yeah, boy! I'd like to voice over.
With the striking of the true treasure with the striking of the true treasure of the Templars, it is revealed that the golden orb, the golden sphere, was not the treasure that Doom, was seeking.
Which
it was the old man's
from what
staff.
I know of the Templars.
Yeah, boy.
From what I know of the Templars, that's what they would have done. They would have had some fantastical object made to divert attention away from a real treasure.
Yeah, I bet a jeweled dupe. That's what they had done for the true cross. People actually thought they had the true cross. Actually, the Muslims thought they had the true cross when they actually took it from Emperor Heraclius, but it had gold and it was gilded, had gold and jewels over it, thinking that
the
Christians were like, "Oh, we love this cross so much, we'll put jewels on it." But it wasn't fucked. They actually had the real cross. They actually had accidentally stolen the real cross without realizing what it was. They just thought it was another crucifix they used to fucking execute people with. So when they came to them finding it at the back of some little fucking tent and all that, Heraclius's imperial guard. This would have been before the Varangians. So these would have been Greek Roman guys. Fucking going out into the middle of the desert in the middle of the night, stealing the true cross and running it right back to Constantinople, chased all the way there. It was the perfect way to handle, people who would be sieging your great cities and stuff like that. At that point, they had Jerusalem right up until 700 odd AD.
Well, let me ask you guys this: who else just got a massive chubby when you saw the reveal of Thor, though? And you realized
I had a full erection.
When you realized that Thor was the treasure of Jerusalem being sent to England to help it from being conquered by Latveria and Scotland.
It's actually secretly based. I'll give Neil Gaiman his due. Obviously, he's trying to keep in the fashionable opinion crowd, but still just leave little hints and tips that he secretly thinks that God chose the white people after all.
Jesus Christ. That you're not going to clip out, though.
I'm not going to clip that out at all, no. That's just one man's opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Like the shit I've said.
And that traps aren't case because you're the one that's fucking.
I viewed it a little differently than Novel Bro. I viewed it more as like the Knights Templar.
I don't actually believe it, but as soon as they mean, you gotta go with it to really piss off the
I
left.
viewed it as like a subluxation of their ultimate weapon being a pagan god.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know,
Well, that comes up in
like
issues
that.
7 and 8. That comes up in part 4, so don't
It
spoil
does.
it too much.
It does. That's all I was
I
gonna say.
God of the thunders, mighty
So,
by Mjolnir.
In
Fucking
the
epic. I was just like,
in the finale of the plot coverage of this, we come across the fact that there's a I don't know, kind of a revelation by the scarred up Doctor Doom, by Black Widow. Jean Grey, aka John Grey, passes out from keeping the ship hovering. Magneto, Quicksilver, and the Scarlet Witch are discovered by Toad and the Vatican and demanded to be burned. It's really a cliffhanger issue after such a tremendous battle.
I'll give Magneto his due. He really is committing to the traps are gay. Fucking kill him. Like, fair enough. He has to do what the Inquisitor needs to do. You know, like
No.
I've got degeneracy around here.
No. He's the one that they're saying burn him, kill him too.
Yeah. Naturally, he wants the trap burned. The traps are gay.
Hey, remember, if you went and suck off a tranny, you're a French.
We're all bigots here, Ayrton. If that's the
yes. That's all I can say to that. Yes.
If that's the threshold here, then we're all whatever you call us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I became that a long time ago, apparently. Thank my mother, because she gave me that talk, and ever since I've been based.
And red pill.
Yes, absolutely. All it took was like, right, I'm glad you're not into that DJ gay shit anymore, but we really still need to have that talk, man. Like, okay.
He's basically the Scottish Tucker Carlson.
I'm picturing your mother like force feeding you red pills, going like, "That's fucking right, you little bastard. You take the fucking
actually,
pills."
believe it or not, despite my mother's Scottish birth, she lost her Scottish accent.
I'm your fucking mother.
No, she has an English accent, fortunately. She grew up like me, an army brat, but you know, my dad left the forces and moved to Scotland, so you know, I had no choice but to be Scottish. Even though I was born in the fucking heart of Wessex, I was born in Aldershot. I could have been born in a more English place. But what fucking adds more confusion to it all is when it was a forces town, there was, you know, different confessional churches in the area, and there was a Scots Presbyterian church that I could have been that I was christened in. So not only was I born in England, I was in a Scottish church in England that born to a fucking half English father, to a half fucking Irish mother with an English accent. It's all fucking confusing. I'm a mutt.
So yeah, you don't even know what you are.
Yeah, well, all I know is that 50% of those genetics are apparently Scottish, so I'll accept that. You know, 25% of them are Irish, and 25% of them are Anglo.
When I see Scotch Irish on my my DNA test, I just always attribute it all to Irish. I assume that me and Novel Bro share an ancestor about 2 or 3 generations back.
I should say, the Celtic blood it extends beyond 2 different nations. Put it that way.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that we both have a promiscuous relative. That's all I'm saying.
Dear God, I hope that. Well, who knows?
No, we're definitely cousins. That's what I'm getting at.
Do you have the same last name as me?
You still haven't told me, Novel Bro, whether like our clans were rivals or friends.
They were
Like,
definitely
so
rivals
far.
if he hasn't told you.
Well,
He's just
yeah,
plotting your demise.
Oh well, with the Scottish clan that I would descend
I
from.
mean,
is,
if it
my
was a clan that wasn't his and it was Scottish, then they were definitely rivals.
Well, that's fair.
Well, there was some alliance. There was some alliance. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, pretty much
No,
everybody
but
wants to
they
fuck
still hated
everybody.
each other. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, especially the clan wars. Everybody was fighting everybody.
Who's
Didn't
that
matter.
talking?
If you walked in everybody.
No,
Huh?
is there anybody besides us on the call?
No.
I don't think
Okay, I heard somebody. I didn't know if it was somebody in the call or who wasn't in the call when I last looked.
so. Oh, no, I heard that. I heard a lady's laughter earlier.
That's Danielle at Ayrton's house.
Oh,
Don't be confused.
oh,
Let me just spill the beans on that one real quick.
We've been celebrating America Day.
oh,
But there's also a 20-second delay for what she hears versus what we're talking about.
So she laughs at inappropriate times, like when you take your pants off. I got you.
No, there is now only
Yeah.
4
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, see, this is the best timeline. This truly is the best timeline. I swear to God, if a timeline can make me laugh this much, I don't give a fuck. Honestly.
So sorry. Quick aside. Speaking of this timeline, I don't know if either of you watch any of Steven Crowder's content, but he had some people go and infiltrate Chaz, and they convinced those stupid fucks to go and Sharpie out every single like corporate logo from all of the products that they were like handing out at their like stupid little tents. So they were like Sharpieing out Red Bull and like Dasani water and Doritos chips. It was the funniest fucking thing I've seen.
That's fantastic.
Madness.
That's kind of like when I Sharpie out the G and the L off my generic glass cleaner.
They were sitting there going like, hey, you know, we're just here to like, you know, promote against capitalism, so we want to cover up, you know, any capitalist logos or brands or names or stuff. And they would hand Sharpies to these idiots, and they sat there crossing up fucking like water bottle logos for
like
instead of just removing the labels.
Yes.
Oh man. Forget that.
It was
been fucking epic, man.
And then one dude who was actually selling stuff, not giving it away, was like, "Nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. How am I gonna sell Red Bulls if people don't know that it's a Red Bull?"
Yeah, somebody has to put capitalism in there. He's undercover really. He's a real undercover show, like, I'm just here trying to sell some Red Bulls, man. Trying to make some corporation money and all that. I'll get fucking bumped up to fucking HR in no time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyways.
So,
I don't know
final thoughts on 1602 issues number 5 and 6.
Yeah,
For
more
the
historical
the penultimate episode of this series.
Isn't that the next episode? Because it's 7 and 8.
The penultimate is the episode before the last one.
So we've got that to look forward to, at least two more of them. And there's offshoots as well,
one more episode, 2 more issues. The penultimate episode. I'm right, goddammit.
Anyways, what did you think of fucking episode 5 and 6? Or issue 5 and 6? God damn it.
No, but the next one is 7 and 8. So, it's the penultimate episode.
God. Okay, anybody listening, I'm sitting here listening to a Scotsman trying to speak English and a Southerner trying to speak English. God damn it. What did you guys think of
and I'm listening to a Michiganer trying to avoid death.
Only tried to avoid that. He was already talking about jumping out the window about half an hour ago.
Like you're literally like
Oh,
trying
what'd
to
you
survive no matter what you're doing in
God damn
Michigan.
it, Church.
Sorry.
Novel Bro, what'd you think?
Wait, did you just fucking scold me on my own show? Fuck you.
Yes.
Oh no!
You
Speaking
just
of,
want to see how long it would take me to catch that? You can suck my cock. That's how long. That's how long it took me. You can suck my cockling.
I'm surprised anybody's listening.
Me too, novel bro. But you know we're almost a year in. Come September.
Yeah.
We're over a year in.
Are we? I don't know.
Are we?
Oh fuck! I don't
We
even know
started in
anymore.
like April of 2019.
Fuck, it
I choose not to believe you. I call it September.
feels like longer.
I was in Peru last July. What are you talking about?
Hell, that was last July.
Time
Fuck,
travel
hell, man.
is a part of comic books, though.
That feels like it was like 15 years ago, man. Time flies, man.
I
But
know,
that's
doesn't
okay.
it?
In a way, aye. Cause
Well, that's
like,
because they
it
skipped
just
Murder
feels like,
Hornets and fucked up the timeline for all of us.
oh, aye. Fuck, aye,
Did you
man.
guys see the meth gators down in Florida?
Oh, wouldn't surprise me because Florida's getting real fucked up now, man.
Hell yeah.
I
they
adopted a meth gator, actually.
Would be a good fucking
Don't
way
don't
to keep
don't
away the
talk
burglars.
about Mr. Troops that way. That's rude.
I didn't say I married a meth gator, you fuck.
It was probably his missus who brought the meth gator in, like, hey, what's that?
God damn it. Well, you know, episode 5 or issue 5 and 6. You know, and anytime you throw Thor into shit, I fucking love it. Best,
Absolutely.
definitely the best issues of the series so far, in my
Proof
opinion.
that Thor is the best like superhero of all time.
Almost definitely.
Not the
Yeah,
best.
just
but
the way he comes. In a sense, in a sense, like he is the best super weapon that universe has kind of got, you know. Like
Right.
just the best one to pull out the drop of a hat. Like, oh shit, it's getting really bad now. We have to pull. Whoa, what is that fucking quarter staff? Why is it glowing blue? Oh, it's fucking Thor.
no, it's because we have a Viking
Tremendous.
god. That's cool. It's our outlet.
Absolutely, that's our like ultimate godly archetype. If we think of an ultimate god, we think of Thor because we're Western men. It's what Western men think about. Like Thor, the fucking god of thunder, who'd fucking use his hammer to fuck up anything. Like the fucking like the serpent of Jormungandr, the fucking world serpent, fucking wrestling with it just because it pissed them off. I
Right.
don't even know how it pissed them off. It just its mere presence just like annoying Thor. So he just
Well,
said, yeah,
my favorite story of Thor is him threatening to tear Loki in half because he cut Sif's hair.
Yep. So see, it just goes to show you that the gods are quite human, and that way, like, I don't you fucking dare cut that
He's
anymore.
like, yeah, you fucker, I'm gonna tear you in half unless you fix this. He's like, okay, I'll get the dwarves to make her like a golden wig. God forbid she just regrow her fucking hair.
Well,
But-
I'll fucking rip you in half and chuck you back to the fucking frosted fucking Niflheim.
I have a final statement on 1602. But again, Novel Bro, you're our guest. I want to give you the opportunity to go first.
Yeah,
Final
I'm
thoughts
just
on
gonna
issue
say
5
that.
and 6.
Yeah, a lot more historical references than we first gave it credit for. Just throw that out there.
Like what?
And a lot more historical. Let's just say with the gargoyles from the cover to King James to fucking the mention of Jerusalem and the Norsemen in Jerusalem, because they would have been the first orders in Jerusalem if they were part of the Varangian Guard as a peace envoy, and the next Norsemen to go in after that would have been not just the Normans, but there was also fucking a Danish and Norwegian crusading delegation that showed up just before the Second Crusade, where they actually met King Baldwin and walked around Jerusalem and brought some fucking relics down from the Norse Christian churches, and boosted Jerusalem's holy fervor. And apparently there are frescoes still in a couple of little places that actually depict Norsemen arriving in longships and bringing holy relics and giving them over to King Baldwin and helping out with a couple of Saracen incursions. So 2 different occasions, Norsemen went to Jerusalem. Norsemen as we know them, the fucking round shield and fucking
Right.
Some no one talks like that.
Well, what about
I'm actually trying to get that in here. And all this reference the Crusades and keeping the Norse, mythology, intertwined with that of Christianity. I actually thought it was a really nice touch.
okay?
But that's my final thought.
Well, what about you, Ayrton? You got any final thoughts on issues 5 and 6 of 1602? Ayrton,
Hello?
is he still alive?
Is he still here?
Is he dead? Did Ayrton die? Ayrton's dead, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host has passed away on the 4th of July. Everyone, please honor his memory. In that sense,
We're going to take time of death or what?
I guess time of death for Ayrton McCartney, ladies and gentlemen, is 12:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, July 5th, 2020. Please, everyone, honor
Hello?
honor his memory.
Fucking Discord.
He's back to life.
Fucking
He's back to life. It's an Independence Day miracle, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, fuck
Good night, everybody. The show's over.
What's your final thoughts?
Go-
What are your final thoughts? Because I have final thoughts. You can't just skip me.
All right. My final thoughts are in line with novel, bro. I like the reference to the mass conversion of the Nordic and Celtic Druid people from the pagan to Christianity, where even they were like, yeah, Jesus is cool, but we still like Thor. They would still wear the pendants of Mjolnir and stuff that you find in burial grounds. And
so did the Nazis.
That was a nice little reference to that time frame that I really enjoyed in the ending of issue 6.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, my final thoughts are pretty simple. Let me see if I can express them here. It's the 4th of July, so I only have one message for everyone.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Oh. Yep. Facts remain facts.
So, everyone take heed with that. Have a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And until Monday, you stuck with us this long. So Monday, tentatively penciled in. Don Chin, Bill Mouse.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Generation X Farce, and X-Cons review. A reuniting of Parody Press creators.
Yes.
Only here on the Gospel of Comics. So join us.
That's right.
And we will see you then. Have a happy and safe weekend, everybody. I love you. I'll see you then.
Happy 4th of July. Remember, freedom.
And
What he said.
Dankula, I know you're Scottish, and I love you, brother. But if you don't back up off my freedom titties, I'm going to have to come for that ass. I'm just saying, dog.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, they might have a little bit of assassinate help there.
Hail, brothers.
There is, I could accommodate Churchy. I could give him a nice little beach head, if you know what I mean.
I disavow.
Okay, good.